what's up, Unbroken Nation? I hope that you're doing well wherever you are in the world today. Very excited to be back with you for Tuesday night coaching. What to do Tuesday nights so I can hang out with you guys so that we can come together. So not only is me speaking, but if you have questions, you're more than welcome to ask your questions as we go through this. This is communal. This is about us coming together. If you're watching on social channels other than Discord, you're more than welcome and invited to join us on our Discord channel. If you go to thinkunbroken.com/Discord, DISCORD, thinkunbroken.com/Discord. I'm trying to grow that environment, that arena. I love Discord. For those of you who may know, one of my mentors is Tom W, and he has an incredible Discord channel. And what's really great about Discord, in my opinion, is that you are not tied to the algorithms. So, people will miss this. I'll give you a great example. I'm live on all of my social channels, but specifically speaking towards my awesome Instagram fam, the Unbroken Nation. There's almost 17,000 of us there, and there are 4 people on it, which that is not me not being gracious. So thank you very, very, very much for everyone being here and watching right now. It's just to say that the algorithms, they control everything, and well, maybe not in the future. I don't know if you guys heard, but Elon Musk bought Twitter, so that's super interesting. I'm very curious about what's going to happen over there. Maybe Twitter will come back live. Who knows? Anyway, that'll be a conversation for another day. It's Tuesday night. I hope that you all are well wherever you are in the world. I hope that your life is amazing, and I hope that you're challenging yourself. I hope that you're stepping out of your comfort zone, following through, keeping your promises, and stepping into what is next in your life. Tonight we're going to talk about this idea about being faithful and what that means. And you'll notice the title of today's conversation is You Don't Have to Justify Yourself. And this is a really interesting topic of conversation because for many people we get this feeling, this sensation that we have to get permission from other people to be who we are. I'm going to raise my hand. I don't know that I've ever not had that experience at some point in my life where I'm like, wow, I have to be someone else so someone likes me, especially when I was younger. Today, I've been able to remove that from my life for doing a tremendous amount of work. And what I want you guys to think about here as we talk this evening is, are you showing up fully and authentically as yourself? And if you're not, start asking yourself some difficult questions. And the first one is ultimately why. Why am I not showing up as myself today? What is it that is keeping me from being able to step fully into who I am? Where am I missing the boat? What is it that I'm either not paying attention to or possibly even avoiding? One of the things that I'll share a really weird story with you. When I was in 6th grade, you remember those Junko jeans, the JNCO Junko jeans, like those big, flared out, crazy jeans. Well, in 6th grade, they were super popular, so we're sort of like, I guess, 97, 98, somewhere in that window. And we could not afford those jeans. I mean, I could not have been poor. We were deeply, deeply impoverished. But I would see all those kids wearing those jeans, and I would think to myself, oh man, that's the cool kids. They have those jeans. They must be the ones who have it all figured out, right? And more so, I get deeper into it and look at the kind of backpack they have on, the way that they talked. And I remember distinctly one day, I won't say his name, I still remember his name. One day this kid came up to me. He's like, dude, you're such a copycat. You're such a copycat. You are pretending to be like everybody else. And I remember that being really striking in me because I was really deeply into justifying that I wasn't. I was like, no, I'm not. This is me. I like all this stuff. And what was funny is I didn't. I had no interest in those things. But I didn't know how to step into being myself. That is an aspect of this journey that so many people who go through traumatic experiences experience. Like, well, how do I be me? And as I went further throughout my my childhood, and I found myself even at some points thinking about, all right, I don't know who I am. And I distinctly remember this as a kid, being like, I don't understand life, which I don't think any kid does. I think, hell, I'm an adult, I don't understand life. Like, let's be very clear about that. And I'm like a kid, I'm like, all right, I don't understand this, but I kind of think I do. And I think the way to understanding life is to be like everybody else. That seemed to make a lot of sense in my mind. I don't know if you guys have experienced this or not as well, but I thought to myself, oh, I'll just be like them. Because if I'm like them, then that means that I'll fit in. That means maybe I'll have safety in community. Maybe that means one of these kids might be my friend, right? And that was one of the things that I was trying to figure out how to navigate as a child. It's like, how do you actually have friends? I was always the weird kid, always the outsider, always the chubby kid, always the kid who smelled bad, always the kid who was badly behaved. But the interesting juxtaposition of that as well is I was always winning spelling bees, and I got my homework done, or I didn't do homework, but I got my schoolwork in class done the fastest. I would always be the first one done on tests. And so now, look, I'll say this. You don't want to be the weird kid and the smart kid together. It's a recipe for disaster. And so I'm going through all this as a kid, and I'm like, all right, well, shit, I don't know how to be me, so let me pretend and try to be these other kids. And as I got further into my journey as a child, I started picking up all these other weird nuances that kids have, right? I think innately we all do that. I mean, even as adults, if you're around a person and they kind of have like a catchphrase, you know what I mean? You know that friend who says that one thing like constantly, and somehow you start catching it, you start bringing that into your vernacular. I think it's inherent and natural that that's a part of the journey of what happens. But as a child, you're looking at and measuring, what it is that's viable. Is it popularity? Is it a certain style? Is it a conversation? Is it whatever that may be? It can even be a hairstyle, right? Whatever that thing is that makes you feel like in that moment you fit in, or that you're communal, or that you're a part of something. And along that timeline, hopefully, my hope is that you'll understand that you don't have to be anybody but you. So let's break this down a little bit deeper. I know I've come into this conversation a couple of times recently over the last few months, and that's because it's really about, I want the Unbroken Nation, I want you guys to understand ownership of who you are is such a predominant factor in the healing journey that I want to keep pushing this out. I think about even the style in which I've been learning over the last 4 months, and I've switched from reading a freaking ton of books to really focusing and rereading multiple. And what dawned on me recently was like, how can you really figure something out if you keep switching? So I want to come back into this identity conversation a little bit more over the coming weeks, because I want it to solidify. Because this is ultimately what I believe to be, here's how I think about it. So if child abuse and trauma is ultimately the theft of identity, then the chasm that we have to cross from where we are to where we want to be, ultimately being healed, right? Being healthy, being who we are, that chasm is about ownership of who you are as created and defined by you, right? So ownership of who you are as created and defined by you, not through provocation or justification of yourself to others. And that is probably and arguably, in my opinion, the most difficult aspect of this journey. And it starts at such a young age. I've talked about this a few times. When you look at some of the long-term detrimental damage of the conflict childhood trauma, it's being in this place where you're kind of in, without having a better way to phrase it, you're in this situation of having to build yourself into yourself in real time as an adult without the support system of what you would have had or should have had at a younger age via family, community, peers, and people who want to prop you up and give you the space to explore who you are. I don't know if any of you have ever heard something similar to this, but I used to get told all the time, if you keep acting like this, I'm going to hit you, I'm going to hurt you, I'm going to punish you, whatever that thing may be. And so what happens is, if your brain is looking at and trying to measure the data of the stimulus and the experiences that you're having to effectively put it in one of two camps, right? Is the thing that I'm experiencing right now safe or dangerous? Safe or dangerous? And since the brain's key, I mean, really, its only real purpose, key purpose, is survival. Since that's true, if you're in situations of safety, right, the brain will go, this is okay, I can continue to do this thing over here, no problem. If you're in positions of danger, in situations that the stimulus is unsafe, the brain goes, actually, hold on, pause, time out. This is dangerous. I am unsafe. So I cannot do this